Hello everybody, it's Kara from Wild Book Garden, and today I'm here with another Knits and Bits episode. I don't know if this is only the second or maybe the third I've done, but talk about my current projects and work on one of them, as I also talk about other random stuff. This episode is going to be, I think, especially eclectic, but I am going to talk about a project I'm working on. I'm going to give just a couple reminders. I'm sure everyone is sick about hearing about this, but just a couple reminders about voting if you live in the US like I do. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about current games I'm playing and my content plans for the end of the year. So I'll start with the project I'm working on. It looks like just a pile of like trailing yarn bits right now because I'm like at the end where I haven't woven in anything yet. So here is what it looks like. It's going to be a sleeveless top because living in a fairly warm area, I have to get kind of creative about the things that I knit if I want to be able to actually like wear them. And I have a couple projects that I specifically really want to make sure that I finish before our weather completely changes. And this is one of those. The pattern I'm making is the Bluebell Camisole by Darling J'adore. And this isn't like, you know, sponsored or anything like that, but I just want to say that, like, especially if you are new to knitting like clothing pieces, I would really recommend their pattern so far. This is only the second I've done from them. But as somebody who got into garment knitting specifically very, very recently, like I've been knitting a long time, but I hadn't made any clothing basically, just like accessories and things like that. And I was really nervous about trying to make like a sweater or a top or anything like that. And I've really loved their patterns. So I'm just going to be working on this strap here. And the yarn I really love, and it is the Out of the Woods color by Ruby and Roses. It was part of her Taylor Swift inspired collection, and I really like the color. So I'm just going to be sitting here and working on the straps as I talk about the other things for this little update. Okay, I think I finally got all set up here. So I'll start with the, I don't know, sort of like democracy housekeeping stuff, I guess. And like I said, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because I know that voting reminders have been everywhere, and I'm sure that if you live in the US, you're sick of them. I'm sure if you don't live in the US, you're sick of them for different reasons, because they don't apply. But I just wanted to, you know, remind everyone that November 5th is, like, we say election day, but it's like really the last day that you can vote, you know, like, because early voting is also a thing. So I'm going to link at the very top of the description box, I'm going to put the links that I include in this little section of the video, just so it's easiest to find them. So I'm going to link a couple websites like vote.org that are really great for helping, you know, figure out what the rules are for provisional ballots or anything like that. I know there's been some issues with illegitimate websites like collecting information, so vote.org is one of the ones that I know is like extremely reliable and has been, you know, legit. And I also want to link a couple of pieces or videos from politicians and activists talking about you know, how to vote based on the war in Gaza, the genocide going on in Gaza right now. Like Senator Bernie Sanders, for example, who has been very outspoken about the suffering going on in Palestine. He has a really excellent, I think it's only about 4 minutes, video about how he answers a question when people ask, like, you know, how can I vote for Harris when I see what's going on in Gaza and I see what the administration has enabled. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, like, I think she put it really well when she was talking about, like, you know, when you're voting, you are choosing your opponent in a way. You're choosing who you want to try to convince. Like, who do you think you will have the best chance of pushing for the change that you need, that you want. And Kamala Harris will protect our right to protest, our right to disagree with her and push her to do better. And the other candidate will not. The other candidate has fantasized about the press being killed. He has fantasized about his political opponents being executed. And I'm going to read just something that Angela Davis said that I thought was very well put. Angela Davis, who obviously has been a radical activist for decades and decades. She's been a progressive, fighting for change and creating change. She said, "It's not just about electing Kamala Harris. It's about opening space for those of us who are more radical than Kamala Harris to put the pressure for change, especially in the first place when it comes to the genocide in Palestine. When we engage in electoral politics, it can't be just because a particular individual is running for office. It is to enlarge the terrain of mass struggle, to guarantee a space for the trade union movement to win victories, for the women's movement to win victories, for people of color to win victories, for working and poor people to win victories." So anyway, I will just include those links. As I said, obviously your vote is your own. I just think that these activists that I mentioned and these politicians I mentioned, I think they did a really good job of framing the election's stakes and how, voting for Kamala Harris, it does not mean that you are in favor of everything that she has said or that she has done. It's about, voting for the person that you think you can make change. I'm also going to put a link about the upcoming Senate vote that is about arming Israel. That is coming up for a vote very soon. And if you want to get involved with that, if you want to figure out who your representatives are that you can contact and pressure about that, I will link that. And I also wanted to give a mention to Coffees for Gaza. So the whole thought behind their organization, it's about focusing micro donations. So each week on their Instagram, they highlight a different family in Gaza who needs money to either leave or to provide for medical care or food or any of the other many things that have been forcibly taken from people in Gaza. And so the idea is for the price of a cup of coffee, you can just give a few dollars a week. And if everybody, if they direct all of those small donations to the same family or the same person, they can do the most good. And I have been following them for a while. I just think they are doing really great work. I think they're doing an excellent job, and they also have a Patreon, so if that is easier to remember or keep up with, I just really recommend them. I think they're doing really important work, and I think it can be so hard to know where to start, where to if you want to help and you want to donate. Unfortunately, there are so many people who need it, and so having that kind of focus, I think, is really good. Moving into some things that I have been playing, or really there's one game that I specifically was going to mention, and it's one that I didn't just get it. I've had it for a while, I've been playing it for a while, but I just got back into it in a big way, and that is I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. I love this game. I am finding that I really love the combination of some visual novel elements because it's a lot about characters and relationships, but also it's a stat raiser, but also there is a little bit of gameplay elements, a mechanic, because you are playing this card game basically to win, to determine how many stats you raise and that kind of thing, and to succeed in skill checks and stuff. So I'm finding I really love that combination. And I love the characters. I think the writing is really excellent. I am really just having a great time continuing. I think that it has a huge amount of replay value as well, because it is I think they tell you this in this summary. There's a time loop element, and I think that just really adds to the replayability factor, which I love. And I also think that thematically it's really excellent, and the way it talks about, it's this dramatic space adventure, but it really does talk about colonization and how does that work on a different planet. I just think it handles that really, really smartly, and with a lot of nuance, and yeah, I really love that game. I also think the art is gorgeous. So that one I've been spending a lot of time on, but also I was thinking, since I know I'm going to be a wreck on election day, I thought if I find a new game to get into, I will still be a rec, but at least I will be a rec who has like stretches of time where I am focused on something else. And so I looked at games that I was interested in to see if any of them were on sale, and I think the one I'm going to go for, I think it's called Potion Craft. I have not played it, of course, so I don't know a lot about it, but I think it's going to be the kind of like satisfying sort of brain puzzle thing that I want and that will keep me distracted. Also, very quickly, I thought I would mention the 2 books that I'm reading. I mean, the ones that I'm really like focusing on. And one of those is The Seventh Veil of Salome by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. Me and my friend Yvette from Book Cave are doing our annual buddy read of her new novel, and I'm really enjoying that. I'm about 200 pages in, so I think that's like 2/3. It's a fairly short book. And things are happening. We are getting like references and hints of like how everything, goes wrong in a certain way. And so, yeah, really enjoying that. And I am also reading, I think, is it Queen of Thieves? Yeah, I wrote the title down, by Johan Rundberg, translated by A.A. Prime. This is a middle grade mystery, and I haven't really, like I say 2 books I've been focusing on, I haven't really focused on this one in a little while, not because I wasn't enjoying it, but I just, like, haven't gotten to it. So I'm only at the beginning of that one, but I'm enjoying it so far. And then lastly, before my battery runs out, I did just want to say that my content plans for the end of the year are both very simple and also like kind of embarrassing to me, because I still have, believe it or not, a couple of favorites videos from last year that I need to get up because I thought I had already caught up and I had not. Yeah, so I hate that I'm still doing those, but on the upside, I guess, I haven't read nearly as much this year, so I think I will be able to do much fewer favorites videos, which should help. But yeah, hopefully you still care. I still really like having a record of my favorites, which is why I'm still doing them, even though we're like literally almost to the next year. But yeah, hopefully it's interesting to somebody. If not, I at least like having a record. And then I am also hoping to catch up with my wrap-ups by the end of the year, or at least get mostly caught up. So anyway, like I said, this was a very eclectic episode of Knits and Bits. Yeah, don't forget to check out the links that I specifically mentioned in regards to voting and also helping the people of Gaza with what's happening right now. As I said, those will be right at the top of the description box. And yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to cover. This has been a very odd video, but I thought these things kind of fit into the update category. So let me know, I don't know, something that you've been reading or playing or anything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon with another video, and I hope you love the next book you read. Bye!